What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood GM, your host, Coach Key, and welcome back to Legends and Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video like I do on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's video was Patreon's choice, and they selected for me to do a solo playthrough of this new cool game, Colosso. I did a quick review on this book maybe last week, I think. So definitely check it out. But today we're going to do character creation and we're going to go ahead and start our solo adventure, our session 1. So we're going to do a session 0 and our first session in the same video. So Colosso is a solo role-playing game, and it's a pretty interesting game. And instead of using dice today, we're going to be using a standard deck of cards. So this will be the first time I'll be using cards for a tabletop RPG game. So this will be pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to jumping into it. Definitely make sure you hit that thumbs up button so YouTube will push it out to more and more people. If you're looking to support the channel further, beyond what you already do, hop on over to Patreon and subscribe to Legends and Dice Cafe. If you're interested in joining a game with me, check me out on Start Playing Games. I'm going to post all of those links inside of the description. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. Let's get it. Colossal. And here's the character sheet, and here's my cool standard deck of cards that we'll be using. This is a journaling game, and this is the first time that I'll be sitting and journaling while I'm playing, so this will be interesting. First we're going to do is create our character, which looks pretty simple. Your character is on page 10. The artwork in here is also super cool. Your starting character must have the following. So you've got a calling, your nature, your class, and your weapon. First thing we're going to do is your calling. So let's see, your calling is your character's calling could be as simple as a desire to explore and discover what lays beyond the perimeter of your family's farm. Or it could be personal, chasing after someone who's wronged you, looking for a lost loved one, or perhaps a mysterious prophecy. And of course, we don't have to stick to what we get. We can always change it, manipulate it, be creative. But let's see what we get first. So we've got a 7. Most villages and peoples living in the Colosso have a passive opinion about rooks. They are simple wildlife. So rooks are these strange automations that patrol, from my knowledge, but I'm still learning. They are simple wildlife and rarely seen. Nothing to be worried about. Nothing to be too worried about. But not your village. Your village has hated all rooks ever since one plowed right through the center of your homes, killing loved ones and disappearing into the night, which is why your secret friendship with a very unusual rook, I kind of like that, would not go well with the villagers if they ever were to discover it. You meet your friend in a nearby forest as often as you can. It doesn't talk, but it doesn't attack. It's not like the other rooks, but you don't know why. One day when you pay it a visit, it's gone from its usual place, and there are signs of a scuffle and a trail leading into the distance. You have to find it. That's where our calling is going to be. We're going to be searching for our friendly rook, and we'll figure out a name for our character. In the meantime, I'm going to call my character Goku. Super simple. So we're searching for our friendly rook, following signs of a scuffle and a trail leading into the distance. That is our calling. So next up is your character's nature. This aspect is much simpler. This is what governs how your character reacts to what they discover and who they meet. Maybe they are hot-headed and quick to act without thinking, or perhaps they're cunning, sensitive, and protective. Let's see what our nature is going to be. So we're going to use the cards again. 3. So impatient, quick to anger, grumpy. Okay, that doesn't quite sound like me, but I'm not playing me. So, all right. After that comes your character's class. So your character's class governs how your character explores the world and how they fight. And as far as your classes go, you have 4 different classes. You've got the armed, which is probably good in combat. As you can see, the combat score. And then you've got the followed, which I'm thinking I'll probably go with that. And then you've got the helmed, which seems to be fantastic in combat. And then you've got the mounted. So the followed has a small rook companion, like a pet or familiar, that follows them in their commands. These rooklings are found in the cores of larger rooks. But I wonder how we would fill that into the story. But again, we can kind of play with it how we want, because again, we come from a village that doesn't like rooks because of the things that they've done. All right, so these rooklings are found in the cores of larger rooks. As yet, it is not known why. They display a base level of sentience, akin to that of a dog or a cat and can form deep and personal bonds. Okay, well, we already know that my character is interested in rooks. So this kind of fit. Personal bonds with your humans and companions. The followed are excellent rangers, pathfinders, and navigators. I like that. I do want to try combat out, and I do know from watching different videos that you don't have to do combat if you don't want to. You can just journal and figure out how your character escaped combat or however they got out of combat. So let's see, creating your character. Let's have your character traits. We're going to go right here, creating your character. To create your followed character, have a look at the prompts below. Use some of them to inform your character and why they are heading out in search of adventure. Well, we've kind of got that with our calling. So let's see, does your village or clan hate the rooks, or did you have to keep your bond with a rookling a secret? Absolutely. Is your rookling the core of a rook that killed someone close to your character? Is your bond with the rookling a reluctant one? Let's see, so check this out. Think about your rookling's shape, abilities, and how it would fight in combat. With these things considered, it will make it easier to come up with strategies in battle. So fighting with rooklings involves fighting in a partnership with your companion. Your character will have a weapon in their hands, but when you do an unarmed magic attack, this might be a moment where you command your rookling to fight or use its magic. Maybe it has ice powers or the ability to roll in a ball and smash into its opponent. I like that. So you can be really creative. So we're gonna have to play with that. Maybe it can climb inside an enemy rook and do damage from within, or maybe it can throw you high into the air to bring a weapon attack down on an enemy. The only limit is your imagination. I think we're going to take a little bit of time to figure out what our rook is. Let me see, adventure notes. Maybe throughout the story, we'll come up with some ideas on what our companion rookling actually looks like and maybe what they're capable of doing within combat. And so for our class, we're going to do the followed, our exploration score. Wow, we're just about done with our character. No, actually, so we can use, so a rookling will have the body and magic characteristics of the large rook it was harvested from. To create your first rookling, so we're going to head over to creating your opponent rooks section in the combat rules to either choose the body and magic characteristics or draw cards to create them randomly. All right, so let's do that real quick. So we would do magic type right here, but I kind of like the ice idea. So I think I might actually take that. So body type, it has attack or defense. Maybe it can be defense. Maybe it can jump in the line of me to stop my opponent from actually doing harm. Let's see, the rook is highly offensive, coming in close and fast with damaging melee attacks or long range weapon attacks. And then the defense type, this rook is more defensive. Maybe it huddles tight with its thick stone hide or blocks attacks with a huge shield. Or maybe I can do, because we get to create our own type of weapon, so maybe they can do melee and I can do a ranged attack. So maybe they can take the brunt of the damage. So I kind of like that. So it's definitely going to be a melee, maybe some type of ice sword, and maybe he can touch the ground too and turn the ground next to him ice, maybe, and freeze that rook. I kind of like that idea. So the magic type determines the kind of attack the rook would use if it does magical attack. All right, so I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. So I put my rookling. He has ice powers. He has a huge ice sword, and it can touch the ground, freezing it for 30 to 60 seconds. So again, hopefully I'm doing that correct. So we've created our character. We've created our rookling, which is our companion. It has ice powers. And then the next thing I'm pretty sure is going to probably be when we are going to create our weapon. And I was telling you before, your weapon. So finally, your weapon can be anything you can imagine and is completely up to you. In the combat system, weapons don't have any sort of stats that governs their power. They are simple. They are simply one of the two ways you can attack. When the game tells you that you can do a weapon attack, this is your opportunity to describe how your awesome weapon does its damage. You could have a sword or an axe or a catapult, nunchucks, a spiked mace. I'm going to do a crossbow, but my crossbow is going to shoot out arrows of ice. Okay, so I've got a crossbow that shoots out arrows made of ice. My crossbow is also red and black, and each arrow has like a skull symbol on them. Next thing, I think that we can go ahead and start our adventure. There's probably things that I'm skipping and I'll learn along the way. And if you've noticed anything, definitely let me know. So we've got our calling, our nature, our class, and our weapon. So let's go to the next section where we're going to actually exploration 23, exploration rules. 23. So here we go. Exploration rules. So exploring the lands of Colosso involves using a deck of ordinary cards. To realize what your character sees and encounters, you draw a number of cards equal to your character's exploration score and set them down in front of you. This is the exploration phase and is how every chapter of your adventure starts. The color and suit number of the cards you have drawn dictate what you have discovered. It is up to you how you link these elements together into a story of mythic adventure. You could see each exploration phase as a day of your adventure or longer if it suits your story. And again, if you're new to Colosso, Colosso is like a huge castle, but this castle is so huge, the rooms are like mountains and rivers. So it's like a whole nother world inside of this huge Colosso. You got your red cards are organic things, people and creatures, and your black cards, scenic things, structures and objects. So we're going to draw a number of cards equal to our exploration. So we've got a pretty nice exploration. So that's going to be 5 cards that we're going to draw. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see. First up is going to be black. So we've got a 7. And we're just going to write these things down. It's going to be our first day, possibly. Let's say our first day. Well, let's write down the prompts first and then see where we go from there. Let's see. So exploration phase. So the first up we've got is a 7. So a cave entrance. Okay, cool. A darkness beckons beyond. Could it lead deeper? Could it lead to deeper parts of the Colosso? We have clubs. So deep and hard to climb into. All right, so first we're going to go through each of our cards and figure out what each of them means. And then we'll figure out how we're going to link a story together. So I think that's pretty much how you do it. Next thing we're going to pull is a 9, and we're going to go on the red side. But we've got diamond, so it's a bandit camp. Interesting. So let's see, a massive skeleton. It looks humanoid, but it can't be. Can it? Next thing we're going to do is pick our next card, and we've got a black card. Let's see. So we've got an 8 of spades. I like that. So it's calm. So the sea, a huge expanse of water stretches out before you. You stand on a rocky coast or on a beach looking out. The water stretches to the horizon, but beyond it, you can see the telltale columns and ceiling supports of the Colossal. It's all still within a room. If you don't want to use the expansion module, consider this colossal region of cliffs and beaches. Otherwise, consult the oceans module to explore the scene. So I think I might actually, so far I'm digging it since we don't have that expansion module. So we're going to use that. We're on a beach. So we're going to be standing on a rocky beach looking out, and the water stretches all the way to the horizon. Maybe it'll stretch into, I don't know, maybe we'll explore it. We'll figure it out. And next one we got is a 10. Oh, and it's going to be calm too. Let's make sure we put that on there. Maybe it can be a place of rest. I don't know. Let me know what ideas that you guys have. So let's see. And it's going to be spades, so it's thriving. So you come across a city, a huge settlement unlike anything you have ever seen before. Buildings constructed from rook parts, seemingly motorized vehicles and mechanisms on every corner, and best of all, shops, cultures, and hunters. A place of commerce, trading, and meetings. If you don't want to use the expansion module, which we don't have, consider the city abandoned. Otherwise, consult the city module to discover this astonishing new location. So there's actually something inside of this book where we can explore. So we do have ocean encounters. So maybe I'll change that beach to an actual ocean and just use these rules, encounters, and, play with it from there. And it's also got the cities of Colosso. It teaches you how to build a city. So we're going to actually do that as well. So we don't need that expansion for this one. So we come to a huge city, a settlement unlike anything we've ever seen. When we get to this area right here, we'll go ahead and use that section on how to build a city so we can see what we come to, because I think I would enjoy exploring a city. And the next card we have is a 5 of hearts. We've got a dead body or another human. Who are they? What are they wearing? Either draw a card from the item table to see if they have something on their person, or draw from the event table to see if the situation develops. Interesting. And since it's hearts, it seems safe. Oh, and we forgot to put, the city is thriving. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we got a 10 of spades. The city is thriving. Good. And then the 5th one we've got is, we find A dead body. Wow, so look, the dead body that we find could possibly be someone from our village. Because remember, we were connecting with another rook that we found somewhere in the forest. And we would come and visit this rook pretty consistently. And the last time we came and visited this rook, it was nowhere to be found. But again, what we did find was the signs of a scuffle and a trail leading into the distance. We can tie those two together as an idea that we're just kind of playing with. So let's see. And we'll do the items table to see if there's something that we found on them or an event. So maybe we'll pull both. We'll pull 2 cards and see where we go from there. So I'm going to pull an items and an events card. All right, so we've got for the items table, find a weapon on them. I kind of like this game. And then we find, and then the event, you meet a friend. So maybe a friend from our village, maybe this friend knows about my rook, possibly. And there goes our prompt so far, what we're going to play with, how we're going to kind of build the beginning of our story. I think we're going to start inside of this huge city. The first thing we have is a cave entrance. Next one we found a massive skeleton. It's a bandit camp. And next thing we're standing on a rocky beach, looking out, and then we also come upon a huge city, settlement unlike anything we've ever seen before, and it is a thriving city. And the next thing we found along the way is also going to be a dead body of another human. We found a weapon on them, and we met a friend there. We could actually say that dead body could be a friend of ours. I'm not sure exactly where to go with that, but I think we're going to pause right here. We've got a good foundation to start when it comes to our exploration phase. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you comment and make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content that I post on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and so you'll be notified when I go live. I go live on Sundays and Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come and chit chat with me and hang out and help me create adventures. So yeah, and I hope you guys have a super fantastically awesome Friday. I'll be doing my session 0 today for